While former President Trump took the time to speak with Bloomberg, Kamala Harris said, no thanks.
Just for the record and for those people watching on television, the Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice President Harris to a similar interview about her economic plans that she has declined so far.
The Harris campaign has also rejected interviews from CNBC and Time magazine.
Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor, and he joins us now. Joe, good morning to you. So this is an interesting one because she is denying some interviews, but also she's going to be coming on Fox News today, and she apparently is toying with the idea of potentially going on Joe Rogan's show as well. So what do you make of her decisions, what she says yes and no to, and what it says about her overall strategy?
Well, Carly, I think it shows that Kamala Harris is showing she can't do multiple difficult interviews at once, especially when those interviews are focused on the economy. And that's what the Bloomberg and CNBC interviews would have done. It wouldn't be like general questions like we saw with CNN or MSNBC, like what would you do to lower the cost of living? A question she usually answers by reminding us that she grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, that even SNL is mocking her around because she uses that in her answers so much. But it would, as we saw with Donald Trump, as you just showed at the Bloomberg Forum yesterday, it would be more than an hour-long deep dive into economic policy around antitrust laws or interest rates or trade deals or taxes. And I think Kamala Harris's CPU would likely, short circuit like an old computer if you poured water on it in that situation. So her handler said, no go. But as you mentioned, she then has to go on tonight with Bret Baier on Fox, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in San Francisco Pacific time. And that's 30 minutes, no commercials, no edits. Bret will be professional as always, as we've seen in the past, and will ask tough, fair, and germane questions. This will be a make or break interview for her campaign tonight on Fox because she's never really faced an interview like this before. 60 Minutes, she got a little taste of it, but I think this will be a much different story tonight. And let's see how she does when she actually gets these things called follow-up questions, which I'm sure Mr. Baier will engage in.
Yeah, without a doubt, it is going to be the main event. And I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to the economic discussion, because when you go on a CNBC or a Bloomberg, like you and I, when we go on Fox Business, you have to view everything through the lens of money. And you definitely have to change how you approach topics when you're sitting down for a discussion with a Maria, with a Stu. Can she do that? Joe Concha is saying that would be tough for her to do when it comes to her economic policies, if she can really even articulate them a little bit. Harris resorting instead to scare tactics in her town hall with Charlemagne the God. Take a listen.
It's two very different visions for our nation. One mind that is about taking us forward and progress and investing in the American people, investing in their ambitions, dealing with their challenges. And the other, Donald Trump, is about taking us backward.
The other is about fascism. Why can't we just say it?
Yes, we can say that.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Sure, she would love to say that.
Yeah, she would love to say it. Listen, 3 weeks ago before the election, are we completely out of the joy phase and 100% all in to the fear-mongering phase?
Absolutely. I think we have been for some time when it comes to Donald Trump. The problem is if you keep saying those things over and over again, comparing him to Hitler and talking about fascism and Donald Trump, when we saw what his first presidency was like, where those things didn't remotely happen, it's the boy who cried wolf. In this case, it's Kamala Harris and Charlemagne the God who cried wolf. And no one's really listening when people say those things at this point. But I'll say this, Todd. That was the worst interview of this campaign. I mean, by far. I had some hopes for this because Charlemagne the God has shown in the past that he can challenge folks, even if he agrees with them from a political perspective. But we had one question last night saying that Trump would put non-whites in camps, that he would put journalists in jail. We talked about the fascism. And oh, by the way, let's do reparations, or let's at least consider doing reparations for black citizens in this country, which would cost somewhere, this is according to the head of the Black Entertainment Network, would cost somewhere around $14 trillion, which I'm sure we can afford. And Charlemagne did almost no pushback on almost anything that Kamala Harris was saying. But here's the thing, though. It's just like when she went on Colbert or when she went on Stern. These things don't move the needle because most of the folks probably listening to that show were going to vote for Kamala Harris anyway. again, watch Fox tonight if you want to see a real interview and not whatever that was.
Yeah, well, Charlamagne Nagana is
night.
endorsing Kamala Harris, and that caller said that they're scared that Donald Trump will put non-white people round them up and put them in camps. And then Kamala Harris responded saying, "You are right to feel scared," which is a staggering moment. You're right to point that out. Joe, got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Joe.
Happy Wednesday.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Germane. Germane. Articulate. Articulate. Resorting. Resorting. Scare tactics. Scare tactics. Phase. Phase. Mongering. Mongering. Reparations. Reparations. Staggering. Staggering. In the meeting, we will take a deep dive into the new marketing strategy. This project is a make or break opportunity for the company. He got a little taste of it when he attended the workshop last week. His analysis of the problem really hit the nail on the head. We can understand history better through the lens of different cultures. She is very knowledgeable when it comes to technology trends. The scandal didn't remotely happen. It was all a misunderstanding. He has cried wolf too many times, so no one believes him anymore. From an environmental perspective, we need to reduce plastic waste. There are somewhere around 50 participants in the conference. If we want to increase sales, we need to find a strategy that can really move the needle.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.